Hi! Today I am recreating my... Sorry, I'm quite emotional. Okay. Hi! Today I'm recreating my wedding makeup. I got married in June last year and I did my own makeup, so I really want to recreate that today. This wedding season is starting and it is also going to be my 1-year wedding anniversary soon. I really thought this would be a fitting video to do. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm of course having my iced coffee per usual. I don't have like a picture of my makeup. I'm gonna try to insert a few photos of my wedding day. I did wear my hair straight on my wedding day. I just really like my hair straight and I wanted to be comfortable. I started with my brows and I of course used my got2b brow gel and I slicked my brows back. I actually did not know what I was gonna do for my makeup. I just went with the flow, and I know that sounds so ridiculous to a lot of people, but I really did not want to stress about my wedding at all. I really wanted to enjoy it. I really wanted to be present, and I didn't want to stress about makeup or flowers or my hair or anything like that. I just wanted to fully enjoy the day for what it is, and that is love. I mean, the whole day was about love. So yeah, I did not practice my makeup much at all. I think I did 2 looks, just to kind of at least have an idea of what I'm gonna do, but I really kind of just went with the flow on the actual day. I'm just pressing my brows into the skin and gluing them to the skin essentially. Okay, the brows are slicked back. Now let me just clean any excess of the brow gel. This is a really important step, and I think I probably did this for 2 minutes, because if you apply foundation on top of that brow gel, it is gonna look really horrible and cakey and not good at all. So I just took my time and I made sure there is no brow gel left anywhere around my brows. I'm just using some micellar water on my cotton pad. And now I did my eyes. I bought quite a few things for this occasion because at that point I didn't have that much makeup. Most of my makeup I collected in the last year. So I bought this specifically for my wedding. This is the Natasha Denona mini Biba palette. I thought this would be a perfect palette for my wedding. It is such a cute little romantic palette. I also used I think I used just one shade from this palette. This is the Colourpop Smoke and Roses palette. This is such a beautiful wedding palette. It is quite pinky for my preferences. I don't really want anything too pinky on my wedding day, so I mostly use the mini Biba. So let me zoom you in and let's get started. I did not own a eye primer back then, so I think I used this concealer. I'm not sure, but I used some kind of concealer to prep my eyes. So today I'm just going to use my L'Oreal concealer. And I'm just gonna blend this out with my dry beauty sponge. I honestly cannot remember if I set my concealer or not, so I'm just not gonna do it today. So I'm gonna start with this lightest shade. That one is called... Oh, this is so confusing for me. I think that the shade is called Izzy. So yeah, I'm gonna take that shade on a Colourpop E2 brush. I honestly don't remember exactly which brushes I used, but I did use my Colourpop brushes because those are pretty much the only brushes I use. I'm just gonna start with a very small amount of that shade. I'm gonna tap the excess off because this shade is quite peachy and I didn't want the look to be too peachy, so I just went with a small amount. So I just started with the shade in my crease and I blended it into my hairline. Our wedding was so beautiful. Still seems very surreal to me what a beautiful wedding we had. It was not perfect at all, but like I said, I did not care about my wedding being perfect. I cared about the love that I was feeling that day. I'm just gonna build this just a bit more. I'm just gonna go into this Sigma brush that comes with the palettes, and I'm gonna go into this darker matte shade. This one is called Plush. I'm just gonna apply this in my crease on top of that first shade and on my outer corner. So we had an outside wedding. It was actually pouring rain, like literally up till the minute our wedding was supposed to start. But like, I didn't care. I didn't care about the rain. It could have snowed. I wouldn't care. I'm just not bothered by that kind of stuff. I didn't even know that it was raining. My husband told me like the next day that it was actually raining, and they were kind of scared if, you know, if we're gonna be able to go through it because it was actually pouring rain. So yeah, that was quite interesting, I guess. I'm just gonna go back to this bigger fluffy brush. I'm just gonna blend this a bit more. And then I went into this cream to powder shade. I really don't like these cream to powder shades. I know some people love it, some people hate it. It's really a preference thing. This one is called Wink, but I do remember using it, so I'm going to use it today as well. And I'm just going to use my Colourpop E28 brush, just in my outer corner. And I'm just blending it with this bigger brush again. And now I'm gonna go into this darkest shade. This one is called, oh no, that one was not Wink. Oh, I pointed at a completely wrong shade. No, what? I don't know. Did I point at this shade? Anyhow, this is the cream to powder shade that I just used, and it's called Bruno. No. You know what? These shade names are so confusing to me, so I'm just not gonna tell you the names. I'm just gonna point. And now I'm using this darkest matte shade. Still using the same Colourpop E28 brush. And I'm just gonna put this in my outer corner. I think this is such a beautiful bridal palette. These shades are so romantic. I'm just gonna go back to the bigger fluffy brush and just gonna blend this. I'm just gonna build this shade a bit more. I'm just gonna do this on the other eye and I'll be right back. I'm just gonna use my L'Oreal concealer again, and I'm gonna try and cut my crease. Okay, this is really hard to do on camera. I think I applied way too much. I'm just gonna take this Colourpop E26 brush and kind of blend this a bit more because I applied way too much. And the first brush that I used is the Colourpop E3. And now I'm finally gonna go into this shimmery shade, and I'm just gonna use that on my finger. Like, this is such a perfect wedding look in my opinion. I am so happy I went for this palette. It is so perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to this small brush I used for the darkest matte shade, and I'm just gonna blend the shimmer and the matte shade a bit more, just so there is no harsh edges. I'm gonna go back to the darkest matte shade and just kind of reinforce the pigment a bit. I'm gonna take this small Colourpop L1 brush. I'm gonna go back to this shimmery shade. I'm just gonna put some of this shade above my crease because I really wanted the shimmer to be the star of the show. And now I went into this Colourpop Smoke and Roses palette and I used the lightest shimmery shade. This one is called Torn Apart. So I'm just going to use the same Colourpop L1 brush. So I'm just going to pop this into my inner corner and blend it into this darkest shimmery shade. I feel like that made a huge difference. I'm just gonna take a Q-tip and some micellar water to make a nice shape for my eye look. I just go with the flow with this as well. If they turn out even great, if they don't, oh well. Now I took a black liquid eyeliner. This is the Rimmel Glam Eyes eyeliner. And I applied just a really thin line, like really close to my lashes, just so that my fake eyelashes wouldn't look obvious, because I'm terrible at applying fake eyelashes and I did not trust myself. Let me do the other eye. This took me forever. And now for lashes, I use these Ardell Naked Lashes. These are the Ardell Naked Lashes in the number 429, 42429, yes. These were the only lashes I liked. Just generally speaking, I don't wear fake lashes. I don't like them. I think I tried about 10 different styles from Ardell, and these were the only ones that I liked. They're quite wispy. Now, because I knew I was terrible at lashes, I did practice this a few times before my wedding day, and I'm using this Duo lash glue. This is the blue one. I'm just gonna bend them kind of, just so it's easier for me to apply them, because like I said, I really suck at this. I'm just gonna cut a really small chunk of the lash. I cannot talk while doing this, so just enjoy the silence. And I don't apply mascara before my lashes. I just find that makes it impossible for me to apply them. So now I'm just gonna take the eyeliner. Again, and I'm gonna try to fix the mistakes that I made. Look, I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm just telling you how I did it. I'm just terrible at lashes, but I think this actually looks decent. Just gonna pinch them a bit more to my lashes. My inner corner is definitely not stuck to my eye, but oh well. Let me just try and do this on the other eye and I'll be right back. For my base, I went a bit crazy. I used my Weleda Skin Food and I used my Embryolisse. I used both of these. I think I started with the Weleda, so I'm just gonna do that quickly. I'm gonna let this sit until it's almost dry and I'll be back with the other moisturizer. And now I'm just gonna use my Embryolisse moisturizer. I don't know that these two are necessary, but that's what I did. My skin definitely feels really hydrated now. And now I'm gonna let this sit in for a few minutes and I'll be back with my primer. And now for primer, I got this specifically for my wedding day. This is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. And I'm still mad at myself for not getting the mini size. I never use this. I don't use primers in general, and I only reach for this on special occasions, and that is maybe 2 times a year, if even that. So it's just been sitting in my collection for over a year, and it was so expensive. I just don't know why I didn't get a mini, because they had minis. I don't know. And I'm not really sure if this primer does anything. I used to do like a wear test side by side with this primer on one side and no primer on the other side, because I really want to know if this actually does anything, because I honestly can't tell. And then I went in with my Charlotte Tilbury color corrector, the shade 2 medium, and I'm just gonna put that on my under eyes. I also bought this specifically for my wedding day, but I definitely don't regret buying this product. I use this product almost daily. It is such a nice color corrector. And now for foundation, I also got this specifically for my wedding day. This is my first high-end foundation. I didn't own any high-end foundations, so I thought what a better opportunity to purchase a high-end foundation than my wedding. But of course, I'm an idiot, and I first got this shade. This is the shade 3N. This will never work for me. And I don't know what I was thinking. And then I went and I grabbed the shade 0N, which is too light for me. And now I just mix them. I mixed them on my wedding day as well, but I was a bit more tanned, so I used a bit more of the shade 3N, and today I'm going to use mostly the shade 0N and just a really small amount of the shade 3N. I did use quite a lot of foundation because I really wanted my skin to look flawless on photos. I definitely don't use this much foundation on a daily basis. These lashes are so long and I'm so not used to that. And I'm just going to use my Rare Beauty foundation brush to blend this out. And now I'm going to go with one more layer. I do find that this much foundation looks cakey in real life no matter what. I don't really care if it looked cakey, I just wanted it to look nice on photos. And now I'm just gonna press everything in with my wet beauty sponge, or damp. Now I was a bit smarter when buying a concealer and I got these mini NARS concealers. I had the shades Light 2 Vanilla and Medium 1 Custard. This one is definitely too dark for me now, so I'm just gonna use the lighter one. I really never use these. I feel like you get such a small amount of product and these are so expensive. I feel like there's absolutely nothing in here. And I don't know. I wasn't like crazy obsessed with these. I literally never use them. Like literally there is like almost nothing here. I feel like, and I have used this like 2 times and nothing is coming out. Like, I'm just gonna use a bit of this L'Oreal concealer because this is too dark for me right now. I'm just gonna put this on top of this NARS concealer. My skin literally looks so flawless right now. Now I used a bit of setting spray, and again I made a smarter decision and I purchased a mini Milk Hydro Grip setting spray. And again, I'm so happy I purchased a mini. I just don't use setting sprays either that often. I just don't feel like I need my makeup to last that long. Okay, I'm just gonna let this dry for a minute and I'll be right back. And now it's time for powder. Let me just blend this concealer a bit more. For powder, I use the Makeup Forever Ultra HD powder. This is my favorite blurring powder. I just don't reach for loose powders. I feel like they are so messy and I just prefer using a pressed powder, but this powder is so amazing. I'm just gonna use this is a Real Techniques setting brush, and I'm just gonna use a small amount and I'm gonna set my under eyes with this. I actually think I use this brush for all over my face, so I'm just gonna do that. Just look at how blurring this powder is. I just use this pretty much everywhere. And for bronzer, I just use the bronzer I trusted the most. This is the Wet n Wild bronzer in the shade Sunset Striptease. I'm just gonna use my Colourpop F29 brush. I did get some bronzers for my wedding as well, but I just decided I'm gonna go with the bronzer I already knew and trusted. And for blush, I started with this Patrick Ta blush in the shade She's That Girl. I started with the powder shade and I'm just going to use my Colourpop F32 brush. And then I used my beauty sponge and I applied the cream on top of that. And then I was like, this is looking too warm for my preferences. I used the Benefit Willa blush on top of that. This one is a bit more neutral in comparison to the Patrick Ta one. So I just use a small amount of this on top of everything. I'm just gonna go back to my beauty sponge and press this in a bit. I think I went a bit overboard. Now I'm gonna do my brows, and for my brows I just used my ABH brow pomade. This one is in the shade Ash Brown. I really don't do that much to my brows. I mostly fill in the front part. Now for highlighter, I honestly cannot remember what I used. I'm pretty sure I used the VIEVE Skin Dew as my cream highlighter, but I'm just not sure what I used on top. But let's just start with this VIEVE Skin Dew. I'm just gonna apply some on my nose first. And I'm just gonna take my beauty sponge and I'm gonna apply this with my beauty sponge on my cheeks. Now I'm just not sure if I went on top of that with my LYS highlighter or my Colourpop, but probably my LYS because this one is powder. Yeah, it was probably this. This is a bit too dark for me now, but I was more tanned, so I probably used this. So I'm just gonna use this. And I'm gonna take my Sigma highlighter brush. This is the F03. This is just a bit too dark for me now, but it is a beautiful highlighter. I'm just not gonna use any on my nose because it is a bit too dark. And now I probably went with some more blush on top of that. So I'm just taking my Willa blush and I'm going on top of this highlighter. Now let me finish my lower lash line. I think I just used these two lightest matte shades. Actually, I think I just went for this one shade. The more peachy one. I'm just gonna quickly go back to this Colourpop palette and I'm gonna use that lightest shimmery shade again, and I'm just gonna pop some more like right here. For my lower lashes, I think I did use a waterproof, I think I used this waterproof mascara. I bought a waterproof version of this mascara specifically for my wedding day, so I must have used this. But that means that this is probably a year old, but I'm just gonna use it anyways. I haven't used this mascara since. I just don't use waterproof mascaras, but let me just quickly do that. And now we're moving on to lips. I honestly don't know which lip liner I used. I think I tried quite a few, but I do remember that the last one I applied was a Colourpop liner. I think it might have been the color Oh Snap. Actually, I don't think it was this one. It was a lot more cooler tone, but I don't think I have that shade now. This is looking quite warm on my lips, and it was not this warm. But I don't have that, so I'm just gonna use this. I think I actually lost that lip liner on my wedding day. I actually do know what I used for my lipstick because I bought this specifically for my wedding day, and of course it was the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick. I got the Kissing formula because I don't like matte lipsticks, and I started with this. I started with that one, and then I thought it was a bit too dark, and then I used the VIEVE lipstick in the shade Treasure. This is a very light nude shade, and I use this just in the center of my lips for a bit more dimension. And then I used this setting spray again, and I just sprayed probably half of this because I have not used this since. Oh, I forgot. I didn't use my VIEVE Lip Dew. This one is in the shade Rosa. And here's the finished look. Here's what the eyes are looking like. I am really obsessed with this eye look. Okay, this is the finished look. I forgot how much I loved my makeup on my wedding day. This is so beautiful. I'm so happy I revisited this look and some of my memories as well. This made me so happy and so emotional at the same time. I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.